All right, so today we're looking at Emily Dickinson. We're going to get off of Walt Whitman for a little bit. We're going to come back to him, but we're going to look at Emily Dickinson. Two of our greatest American poets are Emily Dickinson and Walt Whitman. I have some biographical information on Emily Dickinson that I'm going to share later, maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. But I want you to look without prejudice at her poetry. So in other words, don't read her yet. You read her as you see the little bit of a biography on the WebQuest that you're being assigned, and you'll read her with a little bit of 3 of her poems, and they're not long poems. One of them, I think, is they're not complicated poems. They're poems that kind of should make you think a little bit. So I'm going to say it that way, and we'll go through the poems, but I want your opinions first. I'm trying to get the blue thing off. I probably didn't need to do that. So if you look on my screen, your screen now, because I've shared it with you. And I'm trying to raise it up. There we go. Emily Dickinson WebQuest. These links take you to everything right now that you need to know for this. Just like we did for Whitman, I want you to list 3 interesting facts about Dickinson's life. List 2 ideas in or characteristics of her poetry, and then just answer these questions here. But when you get to I'm Nobody, Who Are You? Because I Could Not Stop for Death, and Fame is a Fickle Food, just answer these questions. You might have to read them 1 or 2 times. And they're not long. I thought about reading them to you myself, but well, I guess I could. And as I'm pulling it up right now, so we'll see. And that's a good way for me to double check these links. We didn't have a hard time with it earlier. But Emily Dickinson, and then again, I'm sharing this with you. Look, there's the poem right there. I'm nobody, who are you? I'm nobody, who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell, they'd advertise, you know. How dreary to be somebody. How public, like a frog, to tell one's name. The livelong June to an admiring bog. All right, so that was fairly easy. So and I don't want to start my mornings with that. So this next one is a little bit more interesting just because of the way she uses personification and the way death is personified in here. It's like her best friend or something. Because I could not stop for death. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun. Or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill, for only gossamer, my gown, my tippet, only tulle. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice and the ground. Since then, 'tis centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day. I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity. All right, so and then the last one real quick. There's a lot to talk about in all of these, actually, so there we go. And the last one is another short. Fame is a fickle food. So we got 2 things that mentioned a little bit about fame. Well, does she really want it? The first one mentioned a little bit, and this one does too. Fame is a fickle food. Fame is a fickle food upon a shifting plate, whose table once a guest, but not the second time is set. Whose crumbs the crows inspect, and with ironic call, flat past it to the farmer's corn. Men eat of it and die. Oh, that's a little bit morbid. So that gives you a little bit of insight about Emily Dickinson. I'll give you more later on, but I want you to go through those poems. You'll have a little bit of the autobiography. Start with the WebQuest. You're going to do this on a Google Doc, and it should be in your modules, by the way, Emily Dickinson's WebQuest. There it is right there. If you have any questions, make sure you answer or ask me. I'll do it by email. Make a copy of the document. Your answers need to be in red. So, and make sure they're bold so they're easily seen. Answer in complete sentences and submit it through here. Okay?